Okay.
Keep a second.
Yeah, no worries, dude. I'm just chilling. Ready. Let's do it.
You got your game up at all?
Yeah, I've got the game open just so I
Alright.
can like look at ship stats because I'm shit at remembering off the top of my head.
Yeah. Good idea. That's what I got. Alright, so welcome everybody to the first episode of Painful Podcast. Today we got a lot of things to talk about. First things first, my name's Angel Rambo Jr. Thanks so much for stopping into this podcast stream, live stream, Twitch and YouTube. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, enjoying your weekend. I got my buddy Miv here. Miv, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, yeah, my name is Miv. I'm from the UK, but don't judge me. I'm a BB maid, and I've been playing basically since the game started. I just missed out on the John Bark campaign, so whatever the campaign was after that. What was the campaign after John Bark? Can you remember off the top of your head? Was it Kutuzov?
Kutuzov was right after, but I think Yudachi was right after JB.
Yeah, Yudachi. But yeah, I've been in the game for a while.
Yeah, I started playing the game around the Scharnhorst campaign. And I think that was after the Belfast, or Atlanta, one of the two.
Yeah, it's a similar sort of time.
Yeah. Because the game came out in April of 2019, and I started playing in August. Because I think the beta had just got finished. And then, yeah. I got, like, my first premium was, like, the Scharnhorst and the Texas, shit like that.
I think most people's first premium was the Scharnhorst, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then for me, then I got the Tirpitz and the JB. That was fun.
You sold your JB.
I did.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, that was... I sold the JB and then bought, like, 5 ships. And then I didn't get the JB for another 2 years. And I recently got it, like, I don't know what, 4 or 5 months ago.
What, you got it out of a crate, or...?
No, I just rebought it. I emailed the tech
buy it
team.
Back off Wargame.
Yeah, I grinded the credits. Mistakes were made. Well, yeah, I mean, I only had like fucking 1,000 games into this game, so I thought it was a good idea. It was not. But also, like, I didn't really have anybody to teach me back then. I just kind of played solo.
Well, I mean, the fact that you could buy the shit back, you didn't really lose anything, right?
Yeah. So I've been streaming for about 3 years. I think it'll be 4 years in February. So that's pretty exciting.
Did you start streaming just because of ships, or were you streaming other games?
I was streaming other games before ships. I streamed Call of Duty and Battlefield. Then I retired Call of Duty in 2020 because I played competitive for many years.
Oh shit!
It just it got really fucking sweaty and toxic. The sweatiness didn't really bother me, but the toxicness was pretty bad. Toxicity.
I've heard the COD lobbies. I never played Call of Duty myself, but
yeah,
I heard the lobbies were pretty ruthless.
Yeah, I mean, I always had everybody muted, but I think just like people that had people that are on my team were always responding, and it was just kind of like annoying. It's like, dude, ignore them. No, fuck that. Blah blah blah. It's like, oh, anyway, they got worse over time, so I'm glad I kind of dipped that. But I first started streaming Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, and that would have been like 5 months after the game came out. Warzone had come out, and I was hitting it pretty big in the beginning, and then I kind of like lost my interest with Call of Duty, and basically
Call of Duty's a young man's game, dude. It's a young man's game.
Right. And then I switched over to Battlefield and Warships full time. And I was pretty decent in the beginning for Warships. I mean, I was above average for sure, but I wasn't like anywhere near the elites by any measure of my stats. I think I was at like 58% win rate when I first started doing the tournaments.
That's far above average.
Yeah,
average win rate's like 49, isn't it?
If 45, I think. 49 for PC, I think, but I know it's 45 for Legends.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but so when I first started streaming ships, that's how I met a lot of my early on friends, and most of those guys were streamers too, so we would always link up and kind of do like a multi-stream. That was a lot of fun, bringing a lot of people together, doing count-ins, and that's kind of how I became popular on Twitch, by basically marketing my brand with everybody else's, and then
A group effort.
yeah, exactly. And so then I decided to create a tournament. It took me a few months to kind of get it together, to get the details together, and since then it's just been an downhill battle. Just getting people together and marketing everybody, and it's just been a lot of fun. So we just finished the 8th tournament, and this was the first tournament with training rooms. It went incredibly well compared to a lot of my other tournaments. But
so smooth.
Yeah, smooth.
So smooth.
Yeah, smooth, and I think it's just mainly because the matchmaking is way easier. You know, you don't have to have random matches every single round. You don't know what's gonna happen. Where this one, you know, you matched up with the team that you're going against, which was very exciting. A lot of really cool strategies I saw that were implemented. But we got Miv here. They got basically the silver medal. So Warfare at Sea won first place. Payne got second. And I believe Steel Alliance came in third. So obviously congratulations to those teams. But Miv, if you want to go ahead and kind of give your reactions, and then I'll give mine.
Who did Steel Alliance play for third place? I missed that game.
Well, I mean, they got third based on wins.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, dude, the tournament, it's the best competition I've been involved in. But I've liked your tournaments and your style of tournaments since like the days we did it on Damage and XP and stuff. I like getting it, like having a day dedicated to doing it and getting it done in a day rather than, you know, spread out over several weekends. That format frustrates, because if it's like best of 3, you play 2 games, win them both, and then that's it. You're done for a week, maybe 2 weeks. So yeah, I much prefer this this style.
Yeah.
I had no real complaints about the rules or the way it was organized or anything. Everything was smooth. Everything was simple.
Yeah, so far the feedback has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Haven't had anybody that necessarily complained.
You had any negatives?
No. Other than, you know, like what Wolf said, SNA said the same thing about the whole, you know, 9s or 7s. That's literally the only thing that was talked about. And that's, like I said, it's still good feedback.
I can understand both points of view on that, mate, because, I mean, in an ideal world, you would have everyone play the same number of people, do you know what I mean? Not have it a set way, but, I mean, my guess is it was to account for people having no-shows and stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that was just to get the tournament going.
At the end of the day, we should have practiced for 7s, you know what I mean? We knew that we could potentially face 7s, so.
Right. But yeah, all in all, it went by smoothly. Like I said, there wasn't really any hiccups. Nobody had any quarrels with people switching ships. I mean, 5 minutes is more than enough time to switch your ship out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, who are new to the podcast or new to the community, we basically have these rules. So we have like the tournament rules that I post every single time. Normally, when I announce the date of the tournament, the rules go with it. So the rules haven't changed a whole lot in any of my tournaments. There's been tweaks here and there, but the main integrity of the tournament has always been intact. And that's basically, you're matched up with another team, and both of you guys have to follow the matchmaking rules. If we have ship bans, which ship bans has always been a hot topic, because some people's like, oh, why ban ships? And then other people are like, yes, let's ban ships. And then when you say, okay, let's ban ships, and then nobody knows what ships to ban because everybody wants to ban a different ship. Nobody. The other thing is, like, if we do tier 7s and 8s, obviously Chappa is gonna go, and Salem. Those are the 2 ships that have been like the #1 picks for bans in terms of topics, which makes sense. Salem and Chappa are. I mean, Salem did get that nerf, which I don't have that ship, so I can't speak to whether or not it's now more viable to play it. in competition, but I know Chapel for sure hasn't ever been touched. So that
But
one,
with the Salem, like it did get the nerf, and it's only got an 8.5 radar. So I mean, it's got a good DPM, but apart from that,
yeah,
there's more effective ships at the tier now.
right.
Yeah, I agree with bans because there are some ships that are just overperforming for. So like say for example, back in the day when Varmar was at tier 6, you couldn't have that in a tier 6 comp, surely.
Right.
You know what I mean? 'Cause
That's
everyone
like
would just run
Chapel.
3 Varmars. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, some people don't like it because, I mean, the only ship they could play is OP ones, but
Yeah, in this tournament we had tier 8 into legendary tier. So let me go ahead and read over the rules that I had in place. I did make a few adjustments because what I always tend to do is my first post of the rules when the tournament date is set, normally like a month or two in advance. I like to do 2 months. I feel like it's like more than enough time for people to kind of get together their schedule so that they can all meet up one day. Especially with different time zones. I think 1 month might be a little too close to the date, so I always do 2 months. It gives people more than enough time, gives everybody at least a month to kind of get together and talk about it, and then another month to actually get together. So when I set the date, that first draft of the rules, I say, all right, here you go. What do you guys think? And a bunch of the different teams picked apart a lot of mistakes that I had, so I adjusted it accordingly. And the rules ended up being the following. So 7v7s if you can't get 9, or 9v9s. A legendary tier will not allow carriers for the tournament based on feedback. Obviously, tier 8 and tier 8 doesn't have carriers, so it was not allowed. So legendary tier was not going to allow carriers based on the feedback that I got. Teams will play best of 3 matches for the first round or rounds because I didn't know how many teams were actually going to join in the beginning. We had 8 of them, so there would only be basically 3 rounds. In the semifinals and finals at the best of 5, all tiebreakers will be played on a random map, which I had that spin wheel. It worked really good. Each team will pick ships to ban for the other team, 2 banned ships for tier 8, and then 1 for legendary tier. All rounds before the semifinals and finals will be played, and then I basically like listed off in order of the maps that were going to be played. So map 1 was going to be Sleeping Giant, Land of Fire North, and then I put Sea of Fortune on there, but that one ended up being like not really used. I think they used Sea of Fortune as a 4th one for tier 8 as a tiebreaker because they both teams wanted that map to be the tiebreaker. Semifinals and finals will be played on Shatter, Two Brothers, Hotspot, and Greece. Those 4 maps are incredibly difficult compared to the first 4 maps: Sleeping Giant, Land of Fire North, and Sea of Fortune. These I considered Hotspot, Greece, Two Brothers, and Shatter to be harder maps to play on at higher tier, especially Legendary, which ended up being the case a lot of times. I saw the semifinals and finals, people struggle on those maps. The rotations are harder. The strategy is a little bit more intricate, especially now, that a lot of the games are played 7v7. So then I sectioned off match startup as its own section. So how to basically set up matchmaking. For tier 8, first round, legendary tier semifinals and finals. Readying up during the setup of the training room, pick your ship before you join. Okay, so basically whoever starts the training room already has their ship picked out, right? So then they start the training room and then their teammates join in as they pick their ships. That's your sign of being ready. Do not switch ships unless in between rounds, at which you will then leave and come back with your change. Okay, so in between the rounds, you can switch ships, but you only have like 5 minutes to do so. I also have it as a caveat, but that must be done before anyone readies. Now, I should have put anyone on your team, because I noticed that there were some people that, or I shouldn't say anyone, I should say, if you're the last person readied on your team, you can't leave and then come back, because everyone on your team already readied, so that your team should be ready at that point. So that's why that 5-minute rule is in place, so that once that game is over, now leave real quick. If you want to change your ships, you got to make that decision quick. leave, and then come back. But you have those 5 minutes, and there wasn't any problem with that. There was plenty of ship changes that went by very smoothly, because 5 minutes is way more than enough time for you to decide, all right, let's switch ships real quick. So normally the team captain decides that, but you know, the teams talked, and there was a lot of obviously good communication, because there wasn't really a hiccup with that. Let's see. So if any one of those rules in terms of ship change was broken, that's a forfeit of that match or that particular game. So the other team would get the dub, which didn't happen. Training room host doesn't have to change unless switching ships or alternate, but every match the spawns need to be flipped. So that means that the host of that match, you know, of that training room, you don't have to like you don't have to switch host. You can stay as the host. That's fine. I didn't care about that. I cared about switching spawns. But normally, what would happen is you'd have to switch the teams. So team 1 to team 2, that'd be the spawn flip, and then you switch the maps. A player's allowed to change ships once per round. So you basically get 3 for the tournament because it was 3 rounds. The round is defined as the tournament round, not the match round. So for example, it's best of 5, right? So you have 5 rounds within that match. But what I'm talking about is the tournament round. So if you're in the, you know, quarterfinals, that's 1 round. And then the semifinals is another round. So in each of those, you have 1 ship change that you can do within that series. Once per round, and then that change must be done within 5 minutes after the end, which I already talked about. No duplicate ships for tier 8, but legendary tier can have no more than 2. For example, you can have 2 gearings, but no more than 2 gearings. General rules, excuse me, general rules. All of these have been adopted from day 1. So these general rules have changed a little bit, but for the last 3 years, they've been pretty much the same. Each member is allowed substitutes in case a no-show happens. There's no limit to substitutes. I don't really care, as long as you're not replacing your entire team. So I guess there is kind of a limit, but I didn't put one on there because obviously if you replace your entire team, then you're a whole different team. All members must be followers of my channel in order to participate, and at least one member must be streaming their gameplay live, no exceptions. I gotta put it in there because you can't have a delay on your stream. I put a delay on my stream. And I kind of discovered that yesterday. We had like a team that had like a 5 or 10 minute delay, and I was just like, I didn't even think about other teams having delays. I didn't even think they could put one on, because a lot of those guys are not affiliates or they're not like partnered. So I didn't know if you can put a delay even not having that that agreement with that streaming platform. I have no idea, but that's going to be a rule that I'm going to implement, and there's like, you're not allowed to have a delay because I'm watching you, so I need to see both teams at the same time. We had one team that was basically 5 minute delay, so one team was live and then the other team was 5 minutes behind. I'm just like, okay, well, so I can't watch the other team because they're 5 minutes behind. So anyways, no delay for any of the competitors, no stream delay. I will put my own delay. I will not tell you what my delay is, because then people can use that, you know, to their advantage if they wanted to. So for substitutes, you can be a substitute to multiple teams, but once you get activated by one, you have to play with that team. You can't change teams. And then the rest of it is just, I don't want to say nonsense, but just kind of like, all right, if you're gonna drop out of the tournament, you can't do it within a week. You can do it 1 week or more. But it gives us enough time to put another team in. We had one team not necessarily drop out, but they just weren't able to play that day, so they forfeited their game to the other team. So one team got a bye.
What happened to them? Are we able to talk about it?
They had 3 players that were in a different time zone, that just couldn't make it, and apparently they didn't do the math right when it came to the time zones. So even though I put it in there, all
3 of them.
Yeah, yep, and they're all from Australia, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's tough. Like when you have people from like 7 different continents or whatever, like it's rough to figure things out. I did have a radar limitation, but then I lifted it based on feedback. And to be honest with you, it really wasn't that big of an issue. There wasn't people spamming radars. Um, I I didn't really see any, especially if, with sevens. I didn't see anybody that just was over, like every single ship was radar. And I think it had to do with the fact that instead of limiting radar, I limited the ship classes. So like, you could have 3 of one type of ship, but no more than that. Let's see. Yeah, that's basically it. That's the highlight of the tournament for the tournament rules. I didn't really change much after that. But yeah. What were your reactions to the rules?
What tweaks are you gonna make going forward?
So legendary tier is no longer going to be in the tournament unless it's just a legendary tournament. I'm not going to include tech tree, or I shouldn't say tech tree. I'm not going to include the tier 7 and tier 8s with legendary. Legendary is going to have its own tournament. So the entire tournament's going to be legendary. Whereas if I would do 7 and 8, I can have 7 and 8 in a tournament.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have any problem with any of the rules. The thing about restricting radars is it just becomes whether you want it to be a DD game or not. If you restrict the amount of radars, then the DD becomes king, doesn't it? And then it's just I feel like the gameplay is not as satisfying to watch or play against or as skilled either. You just get your DDs to run right.
Right.
At least with the radars. I mean, radars aren't like you can bait radars. You can do things about radar. There's skill involved in getting around the radars. If you have no radars, then the DD's free to do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion, anyway.
Right.
I am a BB main.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agreed with not having a radar limit.
Right. So let me pull up the tournament here. So this was the original bracket. And then let me see here. Announcements. And then this was the finals here. So game 1 of round 1 was Payne's Armada against Jack Victorious. Now you played obviously as a battleship. I think you were in what?
I played the main.
Oh yeah, it's right. You played the main. I was gonna say the Temeraire, but
I was thinking about Temeraire, but when we were doing scrims and stuff, yeah, I played. Yeah, there's pros and cons to both ships. When we came up against JEC, the Temeraire is more of a defensive ship, right? Because basically the only reason you'd use Temeraire is because of the heals it gets, and we figured we're not overly worried about taking too much damage. So I went for a more damage output ship rather than a damage recovery ship.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Temeraire is still valid. And I haven't got Giuseppe, otherwise I'd play Giuseppe.
Mm-hmm. So based on the ship lineup that you guys had versus Jack Victorious, what allowed you guys to pull ahead 2-0?
Well, the first thing is we've practiced a lot with tier 8 ships. We're comfortable at tier 8. The maps as well. We're really comfortable on the maps. So yeah, we really weren't too concerned going in against JEC. Just play it. We know if we played our game, got our positioning right, then good things should follow.
Right. I think what I found very early on is that I feel that best of 3, you got to start with a rhythm, and I think that Victorious just couldn't find a rhythm. And you guys didn't really allow it, and you guys had the rhythm, like you said. You guys were comfortable at tier 8. Not saying that they were uncomfortable in tier 8. I just think that as a team, they just could not hit that rhythm
No.
And they didn't have
Like
any
you say,
answer.
the best of three. Ideally, you need to win that first one because you get to win two, right? If you win that first one, it's so difficult for you to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So that first game just put a lot of pressure on. Took a couple of risks, but I mean they're calculated risks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they paid off for us. I don't think they liked, which we sort of figured before we played them. They didn't like the pressure we were putting on them.
Mm-hmm.
Some teams can deal with pressure better than others, and JAC didn't seem to like it. So learning that early in the first game was good because then we could just rinse and repeat after that.
In
Keep the
those
pressure on.
games, that you guys won, um, what would have been something that would have allowed Victorious to actually, win a few games or win the series?
Their main problem was they lost DDs early in every single game. Their DDs. Uh, how would you put it? The 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 cohesion between the DDs and the rest of the team. It's like the single elements of the team weren't working together. They were working separate. So the DDs were off doing their own thing, and they weren't supported by the cruisers because the cruisers were doing their own thing. And you've got to look after your DDs, man. The DDs are a lifeblood of your success. So losing even just one DD, losing a DD early is massive.
Mm-hmm.
Because there goes your spots, there goes your caps, there goes your deterrent for a push if you're running a top DD. If you get rid of a top DD, there's nothing to stop you pushing.
Right.
So yeah, if they look after their DDs better, it was just a simple fix for them. If they looked after their DDs better, they would have done a lot better against us.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. I mean, a lot of it was, you guys knew and had a plan in place for every map. And you guys got to those spots quickly, and they weren't expecting you to be there. Those DDs
Yeah,
were caught out of position. And I think more importantly, like you're saying, the cohesion between the different class of ships, it was very important for them to work closer together, and they
yeah,
were just too far apart. And when you can isolate a ship, it's over with. Especially in competitive, you don't want to be isolated at all. You want to
no,
isolate, like if I'm in a destroyer, so I'm a destroyer main. So if I'm if I'm on a map where I can somehow lure their DD against me without their battleship or cruiser to be able to shoot at me, for example, using an island,
yeah,
you're at a huge advantage that way. And on top of that, if you can basically lure that DD or like bait it to overextend, overcommit, then your team's sitting there waiting like, oh, once he gets it on the island, it's over with. So,
yeah.
um, using your teammates and not playing hero ball like people in basketball, not passing the ball and trying to do it themselves. Like instead of trying to do it yourself, get your teammates involved because the more firepower, the better.
100%. This is 100% a team game, and if your
Yeah,
team's not functioning properly, you're in trouble.
yeah. I've
There's not
seen
a
it
lot
in
you can do.
standard where people play hero ball and it pays off because you're playing against a bunch of bots, but you can't do that in competitive because in competitive everybody's
No,
talking to each other. Like the
that's
entire
it.
team is communicating. And so it doesn't matter if that other team is not that good compared to you guys. It really doesn't matter because by default you have to take them serious. The potential for them to
Mhm.
win is a lot higher than in standard because of that communication. In standard,
Of course.
the most you'll get is maybe 6 people out of 9 that are cohesive. They get into a game together, and the chance of them even being on the same team is like super low.
Yeah.
In the 3 years, 4 years that I've been playing this game, we've only been able to stack a 9-man team one time, and that was like a bunch of us streamers. We weren't even trying to do that. We were just trying to get in the same game, but every one of us got into the same match, and to go against basically a divisionless enemy team, the game did not last 5 minutes, and the
Yeah.
top
No.
score had 1300 XP. It was
Yeah.
fucking sad, but it was kind of fun to like stomp here. But it's like to do that every single time would be really boring. But in fleets, it's a whole different animal because now you're going against in these tournaments, these training rooms, an entirely stacked team against an entirely stacked team. And now I'm not talking about stack like skill, but in communication. And then to win the game, whoever has the best communication and the most effective strategy is gonna end up taking the dub.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
But kind of caveat or piggybacking off of that game, you guys taking on Vengeance in the semifinals again, basically giving them a donut and not, they're not able to score, get a single thing. So Vengeance was watching the first game and they lost all 3 games in the semifinals. What allowed you guys to be successful in the semifinals to move on
They
to the
were
finals?
pretty much. I couldn't tell much of a difference between the two teams, to be honest with you. They, again, they lost the DDs early, and there's not a lot you can. Once you lose your DDs, mate, there's not a lot you can do.
Would you say the
You lose it.
Destroyers just didn't play well, or would you say that they didn't get support?
I think our DDs took up better positions and had more support than. So early game, our strategy is go for. We need to get rid of the DDs. So we will. There's communication back and forth. We've got the locators on. We're pinning on the map like the DD's here. Can we get guns over here? Yep, yep. And then when we're all set up and ready, we'll either get the DD to spot or we'll pop a radar, and then we'll just focus the DD. So I mean, they were coming up against that strategy. Their DDs allowed themselves to get into a position where they could get shot by a lot of our team, and they didn't have the support of their team. So it was a mix of the two, a little bit of a skill issue from their DDs, but also they didn't have the support. Like I say, their cruisers largely were playing. I mean, in one of the games, they had a Donskoy at the back of the map, so that's a really super powerful radar, just nowhere in the game.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I got
Oh,
you.
sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. No, I accidentally muted. So what should both teams work on in order to be successful?
Team cohesion, just learning, sort of learning what your role is, learning how to use your role as a team. So the the DD gets the spots, the cruiser supports the DDs, the
Hmm.
BBs support the cruisers. It's all cohesion. They didn't seem to have any cohesion.
Hmm.
Oh, there was. I don't want to judge the whole team, but it was. It could have been a few individuals. It only takes one or two players to not do their job, and the whole system falls apart. So that don't score that goes to the back of the map, that can fuck up a whole side because they've got no radar. That DPM's not in the game. You know what I mean? Just having that out of the way allows us to basically do whatever we want.
Right. So we got a guest here, huh? We got Callum in here.
I would like to just while we're on about it, 'cause I don't want to just keep shitting all over JAC. Initially, their positioning in the games was quite good. They took up some decent positions. It just fell apart after we could break through the ranks.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's not they're not a lost cause by any means.
Right.
So Callum,
How's it going, paedophile?
don't
So
make me
Callum,
laugh,
you're
dude.
here,
I've got
brother.
fucking COVID.
Yeah, boy, made it.
Okay. So you missed it, but we're gonna have to have you introduce yourself. Who you are, what's your age, what country are you fucking representing,
Oh,
how long you've been playing this game, and speak into the mic a little bit.
this.
Yeah, you're really quiet, Callum.
I didn't sign up for this shit.
Is your mic in a different room to your face?
Can you hear me?
Barely.
Slightly.
I got you all the way up.
an ideal recipe for success, is it? You hello.
I got Miv at 100 and you at 200, and you're still quieter than him.
I've just put him up to 200, yeah.
Yeah.
I think my headset has fallen to pieces.
So, anyways, introduce yourself, man.
It's your boy Salad Fingers.
Oh no, do you actually go by salad fingers now?
Oh, you best believe.
All right.
What you chatting about?
What's your okay, so your name's Salad Fingers, aka Callum, aka Lil Batch. How old are you?
I'm 28,
You're 28.
going on 12.
Okay. What island are you representing?
Ireland?
He's forcing you to say Britain. He's
How
forcing you to
dare
say
you.
Britain
How dare you?
from
I
the UK.
I represent the only acceptable part of Britain.
Which is
Scotland.
Scotland. For freedom. How long you been playing the game?
Couple of weeks now.
Okay.
Playing's a strong accusation.
Yeah.
Callum was a German BB main for much of his World of Warships career.
Yeah.
Was
He was, and he still delves in every now and then.
was is a strong word.
Runs a secondary build, Stalingrad.
No, it's the secondary build Riga. 11
Well, we were just talking about JAC. We just got onto JAC. What did you think about JAC, Cal?
Absolute dog meat.
Well, we were. I was looking for a bit more of a strategy analysis.
Yeah, come on, be nice, dude. Jesus.
I mean,
Where do you think they fell off? I said the DDs dying early was massive for them in every single game.
I'm trying to think of something.
So to give you guys a perspective here, Miv played the battleship and Callum played a cruiser. So this is from the cruiser main's perspective.
Yes.
I mean, the DDs, the DDs just YOLO then.
So DD's YOLO.
I thought,
Okay.
So they could have not done that.
but they didn't have cruiser support either. Do you remember that game where the Donskoy was at the back of the map?
Yeah.
There was like a disconnect between all the different classes, weren't they?
Yeah, they were very unorganized.
Okay.
Yeah, it was more of an organisational issue, wasn't
That Sir Reginald guy's trash.
it?
Don't listen to him, guys. He's just being mean. I can't believe you said the first thing you said. Absolute dog meat. What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Whoa, that was some Indian language.
Americans can't do accents, mate. They can't do accents.
They can.
Oh boy. All right. Well,
I guess
what
we can
were
talk
your
about
thoughts of
that
like the
now.
rules, Callum, and the tournament in general?
I liked the fact that it was all
Now he's loud. You
all
fucker.
done in one day.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, I get a lot of positive feedback with that. Literally, it only took like 3 hours, 4 hours. So
And yeah, but it's another element of sort of skill. You know, you've got to have the stamina to get through a day, especially if you're going to get to the finals. It's not like you can play one game and then relax for a week and play another game. You've got to be in it for the long haul. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a stamina element. I like that.
I think one other thing I will change besides the 9 rule and the ban ships is I think I'm gonna have like a 15-minute break in between. I know that you guys had quite a bit of a break between the semifinals and finals, but just I think between rounds, give teams like a chance to kind of like relax for a second and kind of reorganize. Okay, I'm going against this team, and we could need to talk strategy. Give them like 15, 20 minutes, I think is a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got lucky because we finished our games in, well, as early as you possibly could.
One thing I reckon you should do next time is, instead of teams communicating with each other for the ship bans, they both tell you.
Yeah, yeah. I think,
Yeah, we spoke about that.
yeah,
I think we had a couple of mirror bans, which was a bit annoying, but oh well.
yeah,
And I also think the team numbers should be solidified.
yeah, and that's what I said. Yeah.
But like I really enjoy that. Was the most enjoyable tournament I've done yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, just tiny little tweaks then, and make it better. There we
Yeah,
go.
nothing major at all.
That's
I
good
mean, the
news.
only other thing I'd say is let us win next time. But
Maybe fucking win. Don't drop the bag, mate. All right, so let's talk about, before we talk about the finals, let's talk about SNA versus Steel Alliance. That was the Steel Alliance. They, in my opinion, had the hardest road to the fucking finals, which they didn't get to the finals, but each one of their matches ended up being a tiebreaker, and that's
Yeah.
impressive. I believe
Obviously,
SNA took game 1,
we-
Steel Alliance took game 2 and 3 for the first round. That was sweaty as hell, and the only thing that was basically okay, so SNA and Pain are almost mirror clans to each other. Based on me talking with White Wolf and talking with hold on, I always forget his name because I'm stupid. Ray Merks. Is that, how do you say it? So both of them have the just a very, very similar mindset when it comes to the strategy of the game. Very similar. Both teams are very patient. Both teams capitalize on other people's mistakes. They play like they play the game like a very fast boxer, very fast reflexes. They may not have a whole lot of power. I think that, like, and what I mean to say that is, like, in terms of your battleships, right? You guys don't get a lot of death strikes in these games. Now, the reason for that is because both teams are dodging each other's punches. That happens all the time. So I think if you're putting two Floyd Mayweathers together, there may not be a knockout. There may be like 12 punches hit during the entire round. But it's this strategy, this chess game, who's going to cap what and who's going to counter what and this and that. So it's always like an even match. And I think it kind of depends on the tier, because SNA is they're the kings of legendary tier, where Pains Armada is the king
I really
of
wanted
tier
to
8,
play SNA again because we've played them a few times now.
Right.
Um,
So I got a
think-
correction. Sorry, I got a correction. So SNA took game 2, Steel took game 1. So it was a back and forth. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we've never actually played Steel, but obviously we've heard of them by now. I think they do some bits in the. Is it the Ocean Cup they play in? Or somewhere along
Yeah,
the line.
Ocean
They're
Cup,
beating
yeah.
some good teams anyway. I was excited to play them actually because I watched a few of their games, and I think their style works really well into our favor with our style.
Yeah.
Because they're a super aggressive team. I mean, they're obviously talented, they're obviously good, but I feel like I wouldn't say passive, but our more calculated approach would have done well against Steel Alliance.
Right.
Like I say, we're more. This is where our strategy falls apart a little bit. We like to wait for mistakes and capitalize on mistakes. If teams don't make mistakes, we
Yeah.
make it a little bit tricky for ourselves because it's just about skill versus skill.
Yeah. And I think, too, if you're going to play like that, then we got to figure out a way to, like, force them to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with baiting and stuff like that. So, but go ahead, Callum.
Yeah.
You were saying something?
Oh, I was just saying that I was looking forward to playing SNA because we've played them a few times now, and as you said, they are, as it stands, well, not quite it. Well, you could still say they're the king of Legendary tier because they didn't actually get a chance to play at Legendary tier this time, did they?
No, no.
Um, but yeah, I feel like, not to be big-headed, but I feel like we created that monster in SNA. Like, I feel like the first couple of games we played them, they were very disorganised. We just kind of ran through them, and then they've just came back an absolute animal.
Yeah. And that's why I told them
Yeah,
about like
it's a shame
streaming,
to see them go out early.
you know, because I know
I
Ray.
really like that about them as well. That they obviously went away. They've practiced. Like
Mhm.
individually, they're obviously good players. Their main strength is their cruiser players. Their cruiser players are really good.
Yeah, ours are not that good, but yeah.
We're working on them.
We plan 9v9. Yeah, I know. I talked to Ray Marks already about that, and I said that the next tournament's going to be 9s. It's not going to be anything less than that. If they can't get 9, then they're just not going to play. It's not fair if we all practice 9s. But to be fair, for 2 months, I did say it's going to be 7s or 9s. So, like Miv said, we should have practiced both, you know.
Definitely.
Because
Yeah,
it's
we
like
definitely
you
should
never
have
know who
practiced
you're going to
both.
go against. There's some teams in here. Well, we had Steel Alliance, UNNC, and I believe Warfare at Sea also. Those 3 teams could only get 7. So we got crushed and made bad class assortment minutes on us. Dude, you guys did not get crushed. It was a back and forth slap fest, even to the last game. So don't, like I told Ray, I'm like, you guys put on a fucking show. And it's good to see you out there, Monk. I have never seen you actually play. Good for you, man. I didn't know that you were part of their competitive team. I know that you said you were on a second team or something like that, but wasn't the tournament's problem, it was our issue. That's okay. Like I said, I understand,
Yeah, that's what I
you know,
think as well. We should
because
have
what if
practiced
you're
7s.
going against 9s and then the next round you're going against 7s? But it's good to have a strategy for both. So that way when if you do end up going against those teams that only have 7, then you're ready for them, you know. But
Yeah.
the other thing too is what should have happened to meet in the middle is a team should say, all right, I'm 7s, like a week before the tournament. So if you're going to go against them, you know that they're only going to bring 7. It's not going to be 9. So that is, I guess, to meet in the middle, that would be like a caveat rule in between that. So that way it's kind of like a buffer. So if they choose 7, you have to play 7. You can't play 9. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I had an hour before work. No, I just work a lot. Yeah, I know you work now. Hey, K-Mick, what's up, buddy? So those games were awesome to watch. They were probably the most exciting games for sure. Then you got UNNC versus Warfare at Sea Atlantic. I didn't get to see a whole lot of those games, but based on what I saw from Vampire Ace, I think they just got outclassed. I think in those games, there wasn't really a whole lot of cohesion with his team in terms of like where people should be. I think that Warfare at Sea was more organized in that they got to their spots first. Positioning in the beginning of the first 5 minutes of the match is so important, and people kind of like, oh, I should be able to kind of adjust. I think what most teams make the mistake of is let's get some spots, right? And then based on that information, then have a strategy. That is completely reverse. You shouldn't play like that because what if you get no spots? Their strategy's going. You're spotted. They're not. So now what? So you got to have something in place ahead of time where you guys are going to be. All right, on this map, I want you to here, here, here. And I think what I did was on my end, I always copy those maps. And obviously you want to get reps in the maps, but having a JPEG of the map and kind of illustrating where you want people to be, and if the other team's doing this, where the spawns would be. If these are the spawns, then what do we do? Have something readily available for everyone. I think Warfare at Sea did a great job for that first round against UNNC. And that was kind of the only thing I saw. I mean, Vampire Ace played really well individually. I didn't see the rest of his team much because I didn't want to spectate once he was basically spectating. I didn't want to spectate him spectating his teammates because I felt like that was just kind of... I didn't want to spend too much time doing that because it's like, what if someone's watching or whatever. So I'm not saying that Warfare at Sea is like that. I'm just saying I don't like to, have that be a possibility. So I try not to watch anybody who's spectating. So I'll go to the other team. But yeah, anyways, that first round was... The highlight of it was SNA versus Steel Alliance for sure. You guys crushed it. That was basically like, well, it was the match of the tournament until you got Steel Alliance versus Warfare at Sea Atlantic. That went all 5 games.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was.
Warfare at Sea with the fucking comeback on Greece. I was like, what the fuck? The Chungmu was changed after game 1 because of 3 BBs they brought. Oh, okay. But yeah, that was just a slap fest, back and forth, 1-1, then it was 2-1, then it was 2-2, and then Steel Alliance was about to fucking run away with it, and Warfare at Sea just came back and won that game. It was, let's see if I can bring up that highlight, at least the last few minutes of that game. Give me a second, chat. So highlight, at least the last. Shut the fuck up, pussy. Go to video. So that was yesterday. Oh wait, no. No, that wasn't that day. Leave.
I think maybe you
Oh,
could have
did
done
not
a
save?
losers bracket as well.
I could have. Well, I just didn't know it was gonna last that long. It was
You know what I'd
yesterday.
like to see happen actually, from a viewership
Oh, stupid.
perspective, Rambo. It'd be cool if you had like another like commentator with you, like he can watch other games and commentate on them while you're watching games. Do you know what I mean? So we've got a more rounded view of what happens in the
Mm-hmm.
whole tournament. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
hard for you to do it all on your own, right?
right.
I mean, I think Samantha would be good at that role, but
Yeah, we
it's
didn't
up to
have
her.
anybody available though, so
Ah,
it
is that the only
is.
reason we didn't do it?
Yeah, it is what it is. Because I had Jenks and all that. So, for those of you who are watching here, this is basically the tiebreaker. Ignore that ugly dude in the corner. This is the tiebreaker round. Greece. Within 5 minutes, Steel Alliance took Bravo, Alpha, and Charlie. Bravo was kind of left alone until like mid game, or a little bit after. Vlad had a beautiful spot here to kind of farm. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the kill in the Alaska, which would have been huge early on in the game. But the Alaska did escape until later, which ended up being kind of detrimental for them. But so let's fast forward a little bit. Like, let's just stop it here. This is 7.5 minutes, so this is halfway through the game. They're down 250 points. And they're down 2 ships. Steel Alliance has every single advantage right now. They have 3 cruisers to 2. They have the battleship and 2 DDs. And I believe that Warfare at Sea, their DD on the far left side at A was low on health. Actually, the one in front of him is low on health. There you go, that's the one. Gillis, he was down to 2 bars. And he ends up going down. But let's fast forward again a few minutes. look at the score. It's 650 to 230. They haven't scored yet. The 230 point has stayed the same. They have all 3 caps. 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left in the game. Warfare at Sea is down 651 to 230. No caps. Still down a ship. Gillis is almost down. They have total map control.
At this point, Steel Alliance should have just laid off and
they should have relaxed. Yeah, they didn't have to. They didn't have to be aggressive. But I think they just have one thing. They literally just have one gear, and it was working for 90% of the game.
Control like this, once you've got map control and you're a few ships up, there's no need to carry on. Just relax a bit.
Vlad just perfect positioning, and then Alaska goes down. Finally, Habib taking the kill. Now it's 2-2 in terms of frags, but they still have cap advantage. So this is the first time that they had scored in, what, 5 minutes? And they scored 35 points? Meanwhile, Vlad is just over here in a perfect spot. Habib taking a second kill. Habib literally was the MVP of this round. Because he took all 3 of those frags, or him. Like, making sure that they get these kills and securing them, because he might have not done most of the damage. I have no idea what damage he did. But with his Columbo, he was just in a perfect spot. Or I think he was in the Conqueror, actually. No, I think it was Columbo. I don't remember. I forgot. But either way, he just played his battleship perfect. He's very good at positioning. Him and Vlad make a fantastic team along with the other guys. Gillis with the spots. He's on the far right side spotting, trying to stay away from the Des Moines, because he knows that Vlad is sonared, so he doesn't want to get close and then get spotted by the Des Moines. Des Moines just needs 2 salvos to kill the gearing. And at this point, you know, we have at 351 for the time. They're still down 362 points. They don't have any caps, but they're challenging 2 caps. So they're still not getting points. But Steel Alliance has that 1 cap that's generating points right now. So this is where it gets dicey, because now it's a 5v4 situation. This Des Moines is just not in a great spot. They should have backed off, but they were trying to defend Bravo, trying to defend all 3 caps, which in my opinion was kind of, you don't need to defend all 3 caps. You just need to defend 2 of one side or 2 of the other side. But now they have a cap, finally, for the first time in the entire game. And that's 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the match. Now Columbo is going to get just teed off by Vlad. He's out of position. He's sandwiched. No support. Des Moines still on the far left side trying to help the Columbo out. But Vlad, nobody's shooting him. Instead of pushing forward, where he could have been shot by the Columbo secondaries and the Des Moines on the left, he kept that Columbo isolated, which is key. You want to be able to do that. Because if Vlad would have went down, this would have been a different match. Gillis, of course, with the fucking clutch torpedoes that came in. Now Columbo's going to go down. He was basically full health just a few minutes ago. Flooding, fire, Vlad with the frag. You know, so now between Habif and Vlad, without a fight. Between now they have all 5 kills. Habif has 4 of them, and Vlad has 1. Like at this point, once these 2 ships go down in the middle, the game completely changed. But there's 2 minutes left on the clock. They're still down 160 points, but now Steel Alliance at this point is not making any points because they don't have any caps. This is literally, what, a few minutes before the game's over. All they had to do was hold 5 minutes. And they could not do that. Yeah. I just think they just got outplayed because they were too aggressive early on. The problem with being aggressive in ships is that, okay, once you're aggressive and you got the caps, now you got to learn, you got to turn that off. Now you got to play defensive. And I don't think the Steel Alliance plays defensive very well. They didn't have to play defensive any of those games that they won. Their offense just completely overwhelmed other people's defenses. But yeah, it's like they spent all their skill points on offense, which, like I said, helped them. But now a minute left in the game, they're still down 80 points, but the other team's not going to score anything. So, like I said, this was the biggest comeback probably that I've ever seen. But anyways, that's the end of that match. You know, obviously Warfare at Sea ends up going to the finals. So it was great to see that. That was this game here, game 5. Warfare at Sea just coming back was, I mean, they stayed calm, collective. They were down a few ships, down fucking 600 points at one point. And yeah, what do you guys think about those games?
Yeah, that was.
It could have gone. It could have gone either way. It literally could have gone either way.
Yeah, it was Steel's fucking victory. They just let it slide.
Right. So now let's move on to the finals. Payne's Armada taking game 1 and then losing 3 straight. what if you remember game one? What was basically the strategy going in mentally, and then you guys obviously taking game one.
Well, the strategy was just play our game. Luckily, Shatter was one of the maps we had practiced a lot on, so we all knew the positions to take up. I mean, even though it was a 7v7, it was adaptable. We could play pretty much the same strat because the thing about Shatter is you don't really play the B cap, so 7v7, 9v9, it's not that much of a difference. Yeah, I think we were pretty comfortable going into the whole thing, to be fair, but especially on first map being Shatter, that was a good map pick for us.
So I have the Shatter map pulled up here. One second. In terms of the rotations, what was the? You know what I didn't do in the tournament? What I forgot that everybody kind of did already
But,
is every match was domination. I never put that in the rules.
oh yeah, well,
I just realized that. Unless I did, I forgot. But I think that's one of the things I had in the last map and the last tournament was domination. But I think every team was just like, yeah, we're not fucking playing capture the base. That shit's so
Yeah.
boring anyway. Like I like
I don't
domination
think
is
it
just
lends
better.
itself well to comp because
No.
you get a kill and then you just hide, don't you? Well, that's what
Right.
I'd do anyway.
Right. What do you guys think about repost not being a part of the or riposte or however you say it, being a part of these competitions?
I mean, I quite like we've done a lot of practice on Repost. I quite like the map, but I mean, I'm not the the map choice doesn't really bother me. No matter what map you put out, it could be the worst map in Legends. If everyone's got to play it, everyone's got to play it. So the map's not really a concern. We'll just whatever maps are suggested, we'll practice them.
Right.
I was just glad you didn't put Islands of Ice in there because I hate that shit.
What map?
I'm not telling you.
Islands?
Islands of Ice. Is it called
Uh,
Islands of Ice?
I have no idea. You talking about the one that's like nighttime half the time?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
like the
I
Northern
fucking hate
Lights in
that
there.
one.
There's like
Yeah.
icebergs.
I have no idea
Ah,
if I even have that map as a. That's a
let me have a
newer one,
look.
isn't it?
Yeah, it was a couple. It was this year.
Yeah, I don't have that one. Yeah, I
Let me
don't even.
see.
Yeah,
Islands of Ice it is, yeah.
yeah,
It's a map in fleet battles as well, and it's my least favorite one to play in fleet battles because you've
yeah,
got that row of islands just down the middle.
yeah.
It is quite complicated.
Right. That one's tough.
Yeah, it's
That's the one
tough.
we play in fleet battles, and it's just like half the map.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a game of two separate halves basically.
yeah. Hate that one. Callum, what was your takeaway from game one for the finals?
I think we got a good flank on them.
Mhm.
Miv is all the way round, pushed the Worcester into me broadside, got the Worcester and the Yami out there early, and it just kind of collapsed from there. We pushed round and finished off mostly.
Right. And then basically after that, you guys were winless 0-3. Warfare T taking the dub. What was obviously, setting aside the whole 7-man fleet.
Yeah, and I
What
don't really
was
want to use that as an excuse because, like we've said, we had the opportunity to practice sevens and we chose not to, so that's on us.
right? Well, so setting that aside, what kind of resulted in those games where you guys struggled to get basically those first few games that you lost, those first two games, one of them wasn't close, and I think it was the third game, so game 3. What I guess what went wrong, and I guess what did go right, even if you didn't get the dub.
So second game was two. Was it two brothers? The second game.
Yeah.
The first thing that went wrong is we lost a DD early. So like I was saying again, like when we played JC and they lost a DD early, if you lose a DD early, especially on a map like Two Brothers where your other flank can't help you because there's two massive islands in the way, it puts you in a really difficult position. But on our side, it was me, Demo, and Callum on our side of the map. I mean, we were pretty comfortable on our side until the Stalingrad pushed through the middle, and I think the combination of those two things, RDD dying early and the Stalingrad pushing mid, it just made it really difficult for us to get any sort of map control and get ourselves back in the game. So obviously, if a Stalingrad's pushing that mid cap, one of us needs to go back and deal with him. And any time you're coming up against a Stalingrad, it's going to be difficult no matter what ship you're in.
Right. This one. That's the Stalingrad you're talking about. Okay, so let's move on to that one because obviously that one was a dud. But wanted to kind of highlight something here that was very crucial on Hotspot. Right here. Right here. This is what I'm talking about. Do you remember what?
Yeah,
Do you remember this one?
I remember this one. Yeah.
Did he not say he was bow in?
I can't say if he did or if he
Well, because I
didn't.
remember
I mean,
he was telling us, and then, well, everybody was, that he said he was bow into to the. Here's the thing, if Riggs wouldn't have gone down right here, you guys would have taken this game. But obviously, there's more factors to that. He did get the horrible RNG roll. But he's
unlucky. It's so unlucky that he got a dev struck there. I mean, what led up to that was, so I've their I can't remember what their ship was. Was it a Worcester and a Yamato?
Yeah.
They're in a corner of the cap. I'm in the other corner. They've got crossfires on Callum and Wolf, so I need to go do something about them. So I think, I can get two ships for the price of one here if I just kill the Worcester and ram the Yamato. Now, the ram on the Yamato is a bit risky because Conqueror doesn't have as much HP as Yamato. So...
What is that on my screen? You see that on my screen? Somebody...
No.
Somebody put an emote on my screen. It's like perfectly paused.
Yeah, going for a random ship that's got more HP than you is always risky. I thought there could be a chance I'd leave him alive, but I'd whittle him down to enough health where the team could finish him off.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, after that, he managed to death strike Riggs, which is a lucky RNG roll, but I mean, he took the shots.
Well, with Riggs being over angled like this, even if you said it about when, it doesn't matter. But I think what happened here was Riggs overextended around this island. He could have shot over this island here, and that Yamato would have still been spotted by the DD that's in the middle. So he could have killed this Yamato without being detected if he wasn't so far away from this island. Now, like I said, the Yamato could have missed these shots completely or gotten a bunch of overpens. And where he hit Riggs, I'm looking at this.
It sort of hit him on the nose, so to get two citadels from that's
oh shit,
a bit harsh.
There we go. So let's just pause it right here. Right there. He got a double citadel. Give me a second, guys. Something, I don't know. Something bothers me about that. Give me a second. Yeah. Let me show you guys something. I want to look at the Citadel and the booster. Maybe, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe one of the shells didn't get a Citadel, but it got a full pen. But even full pen, isn't that only like half the full damage or something? Let's see. Come
Well,
on,
Worcester
today.
Citadel's pretty low in the
Fuck.
water.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. It's low. It's not that low in the water. It's actually kind of raised, but all right, that makes sense. I thought the Citadel was farther back. That's why it bothered me. I was like, wait a minute. But it did. He did hit him. You know, one shell overpenned on the left, but then two shells hit underneath the second and third gun. Second and third turret. So that's what was bothering me. I was just like, I don't know, man. But let me go back to the other screen.
Hey, like I say, I'm not trying to call bullshit on the dev strike.
Well, I
It
was
was a
because I'm like
legitimate.
I'm looking at these shells and I'm just like the placement of them. So he went from 35.4 to 1268. So um so he lost 34K. So maybe it was a triple Citadel. Maybe all three
No,
shells did. Fucking, yeah.
Yamato's for like 18k for a Citadel in it.
One that shortens the arm time. I mean, yeah, but it did hit the Citadel. Can it? Here's the thing. Can you hit the Citadel and overpen the Citadel, or does it?
I don't think you overpen Citadels. No.
Right? You can't go through a Citadel and not detonate, or not arm, I should say.
Yeah, you can.
You can. Okay.
What, overpen the Citadel?
Yeah, think about it. If you're in a fucking Cleveland and you sit 3 kilometers from an Iowa and he shoots your Citadel, it goes right through.
I guess I never thought of it.
I don't think you could overpen Citadels.
But dude, imagine if Riggs doesn't go down here and he gets the RNG roll, horrible dispersion from the Yamato, right? Misses all. Then you're basically down. They'd be down 4 ships to 5. And because here they basically can get the A cap. Well, no, what is this? Charlie cap? Yeah, that's the cap that you're on. So Charlie cap. Yeah, this game would have been just that was the biggest turning point in my opinion. That was not a good trade. But a lot of it had to do with RNG, so yeah, I mean that's and then after that, so it was Two Brothers was rough. Hotspot obviously was a back and forth the entire game. And then Greece was the last map. I don't know if you guys remember that game, but you know, can you guys kind of guide us to what's going on with that one?
We lost to DD early in that game as well. Positionally in that game, Warfare at Sea took up a lot better positions than us in that game.
What say you, Callum?
I'm just trying to think of where I was on that map.
You
Fucking
were
nowhere.
in the same side as me and Demo.
That's not the one Demo died to the bed, is it?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we lost Demo early, then I kinda overcommitted a little bit just to finish off the DD. Finished off the DD, but it just left me in a bit of a bad position.
Well, this is what I mean. Their positioning was good because they had 2 battleships that could shoot you. They had a Worcester that could shoot you, and we had 0 spots.
The Stalingrad slapped the shit out of Big Sip at Bravo.
Yeah, that Stalingrad played good in all the games.
That's fucking Vlad, dude. Vlad's nasty.
He nasty.
He goes like, "Hey, Big Sip, take some of this." I was hoping that
Yeah,
Big Sip would back up at Bravo, that island there, instead of doing a U-turn to back up, because then he would have avoided getting slapped around by the Stalingrad.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a whole, I mean, I know we're picking at individuals here, but those mistakes we all made. We all could have played better. It wasn't our best day. But I think that's a plus for us. We know we can play better, and we got beaten by the better team on the day, which is,
Mhm.
I mean, you're gonna lose sometimes, right? But fair play
Correct.
to Warfare at Sea.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think one of the biggest topics of contention in these games that were lost was the spotting. I believe that Warfare at Sea did a better execution of getting spots earlier
Yeah,
on,
their DD
more
players played
consistently.
really well.
Yeah. But if you don't get spots, you can't shoot. You know where they're going to be at.
Yeah,
So
that's what I mean.
it's rough.
In two out of the three losses, we had DDs die early.
There's
And
three
then
strategies for spotting too. The first one is getting to the spots faster than the other team. The faster you can relay information to your teammates, the better that the faster that you can react. The second one is maintaining spotting, and then the third one is correctly adjusting to the information that you're given, and then that you're given from the enemy team, because they're giving you information once they get spotted. So that third part is huge, because you can have spotting, you can maintain spotting, but if no one's shooting at them, or if you're not in a position to shoot at them or react to that information, then that's rough. So that third one is key to kind of get all three of those strategies to work. But learning spotting and then learning maintaining spotting, that's huge, because that's going to help you get into better positions. And then once you're in better positions, then you can do the third thing, which is capitalize on that information. There were times where I saw even Jack, the DDs spot everybody, but the battleships weren't in position yet, and the cruisers weren't in position yet. So then, once they got the spotting, they didn't have the third element, which was capitalizing on that information. So, what do you guys think about that?
Sorry, mate. Yeah, spotting's the most vital tool you can get in the game. So if you lose your spotting early, you're facing quite a harsh uphill battle.
Mm-hmm.
And we had that a couple of times.
Right.
But like I say, there was more errors than just the losing DDs early.
Right.
But that's what's cool about doing these tournaments. Win or lose, we'll learn from them, and then next time we play, we'll be a better team.
Right. Any last comments, questions, concerns about the tournament, Callum?
No, overall, fucking Warfare at Sea are a really good team. They played really well, and the best team won the tournament on the day.
Yep. All right, well, we're going to be going on to the next topic, which is fleet battles. Callum, you're in Fleet 2, right?
Yes, sir.
You little bitch.
So are you dumb motherfucker.
So what do you guys think about fleet battles? And talk to us a little bit about strategy.
Fleet battles are fun, man. I've been having loads of fun doing fleet battles. In Fleet 2, I'm not saying it's more casual, but it's a bit more relaxed. We're just the main thing for the Fleet 2 guys is to have fun, get our steel missions done, and we do work a little bit on the tactics, but it's definitely more like fun rotated.
I think our main, like, in Fleet 2, it's pure aggression. We always throw 3 on one side, sometimes even 4 on one side, and I'll take my absolute scumbag ship, AL Chappie, out on the flank, and just devastating.
You try and keep the BB in the middle.
I don't think
Can't do it on
there's.
most maps. On some maps.
I don't think you can play passive in fleet battles, because if you do get outflanked, it's game over.
Yeah. I think
And
the games we've lost have been people flanking us, right?
yeah,
Teams that are prepared to get really wide and give up the caps, and then just like pick us off when we go in and try and get them. Yeah, the UFO did that to us, and there was another team that had two DDs, and the DDs played opposite, like literally on the border of opposite flanks, and just kept us spotted and threw torps at us, and yeah, that was a fucking nightmare to deal with.
Yeah, fleet battles are fun.
Yeah, fleet battle was awesome.
What's your favorite part about fleet battles, and what's your like least favorite part?
Well, my favorite part is it's just another actual comp function in the game. And I don't, it's not as serious as like say we don't take it as serious as we would your competition, or like these community run training room competitions. It's more I mean, if there's a leaderboard available, 100% we'll put some more effort into it. But at the minute, it's just like having fun with your clan. It's just fun to be able to play with your clan mates in a five-man div. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gives everyone a chance to be competitive, even the kind of casual players who would never even want to enter a tournament.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, going to Fleet 2 is one of the best decisions I made. It's just so I love it every time. It's just funny, isn't it? I don't know what you think, Callum.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we have a great time.
There's
We have a
kind of
great
nothing
time.
to lose.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a bit frustrating when we come up against some teams that we know, and we ain't got the punch power to beat
Yeah, I
them.
was
But
happy.
it is what it is.
I was happy we beat you guys. It was funny.
I mean, we've beat a few decent teams.
We have beat a few decent teams, yeah. Well,
We beat Fleet 1 for a start.
That's not true.
oh yeah, we did.
That's a lie.
Not the game you were in, Rambo.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a different game.
Yeah, that makes sense then. 'Cause I wasn't there.
Fuck you, you were the cheeks clapped that day.
Yeah. But yeah,
I was like
we have
that
decent-
game that we won. Fucking, I was being chased by Chip across the entire map. I was like, get away from me. I spotted him on the left flank. Then I moved over. It was what was it? Is it north?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was on north. Yeah. I went to the left side, spotted his fucking Tashkent and my Ooster. I was like, I'm out of here. He's chasing my ass, and then he runs away, and then I run away. But then we meet again in the middle, and then we meet again on the right. I'm like, dude, fuck off. And I ended up with 96 health left, or some shit like that. But yeah, that was. I think so. Fleet battles, pros and cons. Pros is like, yeah, it's competitive. It's a different avenue of competition, which isn't fucking ranked or arena. Those modes always piss me off. But then in fleet battles, you're kind of forced to play with your fleet. So when I say forced, I mean like you can't start a game without them. I like that.
Yeah.
So you know who you're playing with and stuff instead of like being queued with a random 5-man or whatever. So it's an upgrade definitely from ranked. I will say obviously the cons is like you don't have like a win-loss ratio type deal or like stats yet.
Yeah,
I know that I know that's
XP or
coming.
anything, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's just weird though, isn't it?
Yeah.
The other thing I don't like as well is there's only 3 people in the whole fleet that can authorize a game. They should up the amount of people that you can have as deputies or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
If you've got like a 30-man fleet, realistically you can only have 15 people playing at once, so half your fleet's fucking.
Yep.
Can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I think White Wolf just says here pro new game mode that has more strategy. So yeah, definitely for sure.
It's the best game mode in ships.
Yeah.
Like, it's completely replaced standard for me. I promise you, I will never play. Well, I'll play standard just to chill with you guys. But if fleet battles is an option, it shits all over standard.
Yeah, for sure. Cons, no leaderboard, and you have to have a fleet deputy or commander to start games. Yeah, that is kind of a bummer too, because if nobody's on, then you can't do it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason me, Callum, and Demo went to Fleet 2, just to give them more options for people to play with, because our Fleet 2 was dead.
Yeah. Another con is that you can't have more than 5. It would have been nice to have 9s.
Oh, yeah, good point.
You know,
Yeah, why
have,
is it 5?
yeah, I don't know, but fives is I think it's just like a test run for them. You know, but they have to open up for nines eventually. Because once we
Yeah,
get
because it's just
nines, then and group two fucking like uh gets I guess bigger and with more consistent players in terms of like availability, then a lot of you guys can come back and we can do a 9-man team. Um, but anyways, that's more down the road. But I think that's kind of a it's a bummer. I don't know if it's necessarily a con because right now doing 5v5s is a good start to kind of feel our way into um that competitive atmosphere and get to know a bunch of different clans. Um, and the maps being smaller obviously do help a lot too. But I don't know. I think 5 is just kind of a dumb number, but that's kind of how ranked works, isn't it? Ranked like 5v5.
yeah, it is pretty much just it's like a cross between ranked and brawl, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I've got no real complaints about it. It's like like I said before, it's like a fun little get together with your clanmates, and I play with people I don't usually get to play with, which is nice. Like fucking Chip,
Right.
fucking
Sure.
Chip.
Well, guys, I'm going to get some food, so I'm going to slip on out of here. I don't want to be slobbering down the mic.
Okay, sounds good, dude.
Oh
Well,
no,
thanks
you need to
for
play this
having
game with
me
us, Callum.
ramble. What game?
Playing a game,
Breakfast bingo.
Breakfast Bingo.
I'm afraid not. I'm starving.
Oh,
Starving,
mate.
Oh, we gotta
Marvin.
get somebody in here. What? Well, get in here.
Oh, we're doing a tier list as well.
Yeah.
Somewhat chips lingering around. Get chip in
Sure, get Chip in here. Why
Oh,
not?
I don't respect Chip's opinion.
here.
Chip's
Bye,
available.
bitches.
I know Chip wanted to.
You know, mate. Yeah, I'll have to give Chip permission to join the chat with him.
Any plans on future tournaments? I did talk about that earlier. When we were in the.
Rambo doesn't repeat himself, Wolf.
No, I was gonna give him a recap.
No.
But yeah, you're right. I don't repeat myself.
Oh, be right.
No.
Be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. So, um, when we were talking about the tournament review and what, kind of like happened during the rounds, the different rules, his reactions to them. I will say that based on SNA said the same thing, you said the same thing. The other guys didn't really say much about it, but we will do like if we do a 7v7 tournament, it'll just be a 7v7, 9v9, 9v9. Another thing that I will change is legendary tier will have its own tournament, only legendary tier, and then for the regular tiers like 7 and 8, we'll have a 7 and an 8 tournament. So, this that was more like obviously you said that, but also SNA said that, and the other teams didn't have any problem with it either. They were like, yeah, that works for me. Either way, they're gonna be, obviously SNA is gonna lean more towards the legendary tier tournaments because they're the kings of legendary tier right now. But yeah. So, anyways, I am looking to make a tournament, launch one for January, February time. I might have to push it back to March because I have a lot of work stuff. I don't want to say call them vacations, but I have to travel outside of the state a few of the times, a few of the days. It won't be like on a weekend or something like that, but I have some training to do in those 2 months. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to fit a tournament in on that time, but March at the latest. And then after that, we always do one every single year on Memorial Day, so it'd be in May, last weekend in May. So basically, I have 2 tournaments coming up here. I might do the Legendary Tier tournament in May, and then the Tier 7 and 8 earlier on, more like February, March time. Yeah, that's basically it in terms of the tournaments in the future, for the near future. So, we're gonna be switching it up now. So we talked about. Let's not do that right now. 1 second. We talked about. Well, we introduced ourselves, Maeve and I. and then also Callum. And then we talked about the Fleet of Legends tournament, reviews, reactions, fleet battles, and strategies. I wanted to talk, once Myth comes out, we're going to talk strategy for the fleet battles, because we talked about the pros and cons and, you know, what our thoughts on the actual game mode itself. I think overall it's gotten a really good review from basically every single clan that we've talked to or dealt with. Most people like it, and it's not hard to find matchmaking. There are plenty of clans, plenty of fleets that are doing it. So, yeah. So I want to talk about strategy, the worst lineups versus the best lineups in our opinion. I think the worst lineup for me is not having a DD. You can kind of deal with not having a cruiser or a battleship, but not having a DD is not. I don't know. I feel like it's a tough strategy, especially if the other team has them, because you're going to inevitably be spotted like before everybody else. And they're gonna have information on their hands more than you. So unless you guys have fucking god tier cruisers that can kind of compensate for not having a DD, you'd have to like have a concealment cruisers for sure. You know, we talked about like the Des Moines, for example, or any of the deeply affected American cruisers. So, you know, if you got Beepley, like you were saying, like if you could make a
Hola, niño.
concealment radar, that'd probably be the best strategy. But at that tier, was it tier 7? I not having a DD is huge. But yeah, welcome back, Miv.
Hello.
We're just talking about strategy in terms of fleet battles. You know, because we talked about like what we like and don't like about it. But in
Yeah.
terms of
I mean,
strategy,
the winning strategy so far that we've come up against, or that we do, is just get wide. Get your guys wide, kill the DDs early. Similar
yeah,
stuff to common, really.
right. So, in terms of ship lineup, though, what do you feel like is like the best for, you know, an overall good win rate in fleet battles?
Gonna want at least your cruisers all to have radar cruisers. AL chappies are good. Wichitas are good. Um, I've seen people playing Azuma. I know it's not got radar, but it's a good ship. BBs, you've got Missouri, you've got Lenin,
Georgia,
Georgia, ships that can hit hard and can take a
JB,
hit. John Bart. John Bart just lacks the
Lenin.
overmatch.
Yeah.
Baltimore's. See a lot of Baltimore's.
Mm-hmm.
DDs, some people use blacks for the extra radar.
Yep.
Then you've also got some sonar DDs. Summers is obviously good.
Right.
Yeah, because it's tier 7. There's lots of stuff to pick from. Do you know what I mean? There's
Mm.
tier 7's not shy for variety.
No.
So
Yeah.
I think as long as you get a few radars in there, get a good BB, you can't really go that wrong.
When does fleet battles end?
I'm
Is it,
guessing it's update to update, but you're asking the
is it the
wrong guy for
17th or something like that?
specifics.
I thought that was a date
No
or whatever.
idea.
Anyway.
No idea.
Yeah.
Awful no.
Yeah. Let's see what. When does this end? Campaign ends 8 days. So okay. Let's see. Now that we kind of like talk strategy a little bit for fleet battles, go on to the ranking system.
Let's
Do
go.
it. Do it.
What tiers we doing?
7 and 8.
Okay.
2. I need to go like this. Okay. All right. So, chat, we're gonna obviously need your guys' help with this too. But this is basically a ranking system for all the ships that are tier 7 and 8. Now, let me rephrase that. It's not all of the ships. The ones that I have listed, and I will name them in order of like how I added them to the list here. But we're gonna start with the Harbin.
The Harbin.
Yeah. So from S, A, B, C, D, what tier do you guys think the Harbin should be in? All right, so we got a first taker. White Wolf says B.
I'd agree with B. It's just a bit of a mid ship, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't have any worlds though. Let's take a look at it. Stop it. There you go. So what do you guys think? Why do you guys think it's a B tier? For me, I would say because it can get slapped real easily, and the DPM is not awesome.
It can get slapped easy.
Yeah.
Its damage output, its main damage comes from its deep water torps.
Yeah.
Them deep water, they're like high speed. They hit hard.
Yeah.
It's got
range.
a good concealment. It's basically just a big DD, isn't it? It's got DD guns.
Right.
Nice little smoke screen. If I see a Harbin on the enemy team, I'm never like, oh shit, there's a Harbin. But I'm like, okay, that could be a Harbin.
Oh no. Anyway, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It doesn't provide an area denial like in Atlanta, in my opinion. You want to have area denial ships on your team to protect against any kind of flanks, especially from destroyers. And it doesn't really have that capability. Literally just a spam ship. Having the smoke, the heal, but you don't have a sonar, so you're like he said, you're basically just a big DD. So smoke, spam your torps. You got torp reload. You got your heals, which are actually not bad for a cruiser. 130. Most battleships are like 200 to 300. But yeah, there's not really much about the Harbin that's like fantastic other than the guns shoot fast. They're 130s, so a little bit bigger guns than the Atlanta. But 7% chance of setting fires, which is, I think, above average for not for the tier, but for the spam ships, because most of them are like 5%. So you can obviously get that higher with different builds, but let's check out the starting concealment. My dumbass is covering the screen, so let me just turn this off real quick. 11.8, so you probably get down to like what, 9.2? 9 something? A lot of smoke, a lot of torps, good guns, shoot flat, so easier to hit with. Definitely a lot flatter than the Atlanta for sure, but the area denial thing is a huge disadvantage that it doesn't have, because at that tier you want to have sonar radar, one of the two.
Especially if you're going to be a smoke cruiser, you need, as soon as you set a smoke screen, torps are coming at you. So for it not to have a sonar is a bit sketchy.
Yeah, you can definitely death strike a lot of Harbins and smoke like I did yesterday.
I don't die. I've never seen you miss a torpedo. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's bullshit.
Okay, I haven't.
I definitely missed 92 out of 100. I'm like 8%.
You got 8%.
Total, yeah.
You must have been bad for a very long time, Rambo.
Oh, dude. It's not even a question, for sure. For the Harbin B tier, anybody has any quarrels with that? Harbin being B tier?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't put it any higher.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it any lower because those torps are 11 kilometers, 64 knots, which is pretty average, I would say. but they hit like 18 grand. So and they're very low detectability. So
Yeah, they just spawn inside your ship. Them tops do.
yeah, yeah, they just teleport. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. No, stop it. Let me move my camera like here. That way, not in the way. So let's move on to the next one. So that was the Harbin. This is the Harbin. The next one on our list is Veneto.
Veneto.
Yeah, yeah. Tier 8 Italian. No, Tier 7 Italian battleship. Right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. What? The Veneto. What do you guys think? I don't know. I wouldn't put it at A. I'd put it at B for that
For me,
tier.
again, it's a mid ship.
Yeah.
It's got fucking. What are the guns?
It's
15s?
kind of like
Is
a
it
Roma.
15 inches?
Yeah.
Not got a great HP pool.
No. 65-ish. I feel like the Roma's better. Sap secondaries, B. I'll agree with that. I'll put B tier.
Yo, it's got a 21-second rudder shift. That's fucking dreadful. Nearly 22. Concealment's dog
Mine's
shit as well.
16. Yeah, concealment's alright. 13-1. Do I have the upgrade for it? Yeah. High velocity 15-inch Roma's nice for dispersion, but what makes Veneto better is smoke fire penalty. Ah, okay. But I'd put them both at B tier if I got the Roma in here. I don't think I do. But yeah. Alright. Real times average 28. Firing range 18-1. At least for my build. I have a dispersion build on it. Okay, well, not much about the Veneto to be honest with you. Let's look at
Oh, that says it all. Mid as fuck.
the Vlad.
Vladivostok.
The Vladivostok.
Dude, Vladivostok. I'm bumping that up. That ship ain't mid. What's the scale? What scale are we doing?
Oh, S to D. Crumpster says C tier. Oof.
No.
I would not
chance.
put it C tier.
Vladivostok. You're crazy, bro.
At tier 7, I think the Vlad is one of the best battleships in the game.
I'd put it A. I don't think it's S tier, but it's
Mm,
it's better than Lepanto, right? If you
yeah.
compared it to I wouldn't put it in the same league as fucking Vladivostok.
Why was this B
Lepanto.
tier? Why will shut up?
No. What, you think Lepanto and Vladivostok are evenly matched?
No way.
I don't think so. Wait, I'm slightly biased because I do love Russian battleships.
Yeah, Russian AP is at that tier is just the best. Laps, dude. The only problem with Vlad is that it's a higher skill battleship than the Veneto because the Veneto's angles are a little bit better, and Vlad gets punished severely for being out of position. Whereas Veneto, you can pop smoke and get out of harm's way.
Yeah, Vladivostok's so, unless you get it broadside, it's so difficult to damage.
Yeah.
And it's got, mine's got 74,000 hit points, so that's 10k more than fucking Lepanto.
Mm-hmm.
His guns are bigger.
Armor's better.
AA's better.
Yeah.
Brother shift's better.
Yeah, it's inconsistent, limited damage cons, HE spam, meta high tier. So you say, okay, I'll say B tier. Given that Veneto's there, I think those ships would be kind of evenly matched. One has better offensive capabilities at range. The other one has better offensive capabilities up close. I'll put it
I
B.
don't actually mind the limited damage cons because them damage cons reload quick. And if you pop in more than fucking 5 damage cons in the game,
Yeah,
you'd sort your position.
I'll put it B
But
tier
that's not the Vlad's fault.
for sure. What are we doing? We're doing a tier list for ships. The next one, I think the Soyuz is next, actually. Yep, the Soyuz.
Soyuz. Mm,
Remember,
and
it's
again,
tier 8.
I like the Soyuz. There's better ships. So when the tech trees first came out, what was the first 3? Was it Soyuz was there? It is what was the Japanese one? Izumo.
Mm-hmm. The Zumo's C tier. I don't care what anyone says. Ship sucks.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not great.
White Wolf says
We're
A
risk-
tier.
So it was Izumo, Alsace, and Soyuz, and Soyuz was by far better than all 3 of them.
What tier ships are we ranking? 7 and 8.
I don't get how Soyuz can be. If Soyuz is A, then Vladivostok's A. That's all I'm saying.
Is this a tier list for just battleships? No. It just I just kind of shuffled them.
Done
So.
Harbin.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we got DDs, cruisers, and battleships on here. Tier 7 and 8. We don't have all tier 7 and 8, just to let you know, but
Yeah, I love the Soyuz.
Harbin is F tier. Soyuz has better firing angles than the Vlad. That's correct. I also think the survivability of the Soyuz is better and doesn't get punished like the Vlad does at that tier.
I think Soyuz gets more punished just because it comes up against them legendaries.
That's true. But I'm saying, like, at that tier, we're not going to compare it to legendary tier. But just at the tier, at, 8 versus 8, I think at tier 7, Vlad is one of the best battleships in the game. I don't, like I said, damage cons for me doesn't matter. It's, like I said, it's one of those high skill ships. You just got to understand how to play it correctly. But I agree with Soyuz being tier 8. Tier A, sorry. Oh shit. Whoops. I wanted to check something though. I think this Soyuz had bigger guns too.
What then?
Seriously.
Then what? Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, never mind. They are 16. I thought they were bigger guns.
No, Soyuz has got the same guns as.
40% fire
That's-
chance, 15,000 damage. 14.5. Whereas the Vlad, keep clicking the wrong button. 41% chance fire. So they're gun-wise are about the same. Soyuz does a little bit more damage. But depending on your build, you can probably get about the same. Keep clicking the wrong button, stop it. Firing range is not as good. I think my Vlad is at 18. 18.3 and the Soyuz is 17. Damn. Oh, do I not have the Soyuz fully upgraded? Oh, I don't. Okay. That's why. Let's see the upgrades. Firing range, there we go. 17.4 would be the. A lot more hit points too. 88,000 once you get your upgrade. So I would agree with it being A tier. I don't kite in Russian PPs yet. I don't know. I don't know why you would say that. You wouldn't want to kite with him anyway. All right, the next one. Alsace.
Alsace. That's a good job I didn't get Chipper Dip in here, innit?
Mm-hmm.
Alsace. So it's just a.
D tier.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'll leave
Is
it
there a
D.
worse
I'm gonna leave it D
Is there a
tier for
worse
now.
battleship? Is there a worse battleship at the tier than Alsace?
Yeah.
I don't
Alsace.
think there is.
A worse tier 8 battleship?
Than Alsace.
Uh, Pommern's up there, but I think the Pommer
I
would
think
beat the shit
Pommern's
out of the
better than
Alsace.
Alsace.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it would.
Wolf says C tier. The Zumal's worse? I don't think so. Wolf says C tier.
But it's
I don't think a Zumal's worse than the Alsace.
no, I don't either.
25. We don't talk about the Alsace. Coming from a French BB main. Well, you don't play the Japanese. Stream go boo boo. So you guys all agree?
This is
Here, go
this
ahead.
is your list, Rambo.
No, it's not my list. This is our list.
Override.
Fuck that.
For me, Alsace goes D.
All right.
If the majority say C, then
All right. So we got one vote for C and one vote for D. I voted D, so we got 2 votes for D. Alsace is C tier for average player, but played correctly can be moved to A tier. Oh my god.
listen.
It's not about the
Is
player
that
though. We're
Wolf?
just talking about the ship.
If Wolf's putting my Vlad at fucking B tier, I'm not having it.
Because you
I'm
can
not
have
having it.
a very good player play any of these ships and they all be S tier. I'm muted. What do you mean I'm muted? I think you don't have me up.
Oh, Titan's lost your sound as well.
He joined? Oh, never mind. Andrew, get your shit together. You look like a noob streamer. I'm not muted. I don't know what he's talking about. It shows on here that I'm not muted, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey Rambo, just giving you a heads up, you're muted on stream.
I'm not muted. Everything on my end is working just fine.
That's all I was popping in for.
Yeah.
Have fun.
All right, bro. I have no idea. Stream go boo boo. Oh, what? No, I have no idea. Unless Twitch muted me or something.
Oh shit, can they do that?
Well, I'd be surprised. Let me see. Oh, I did get muted. Did I get muted? For what? Because I wasn't muted before. My first. When did I get muted? Beef taking a sec. clear. You can- The next one on our list is City 15-inch Roma's nice for dispersion, but we'll make.
And if you pop in more than fucking 5 damage cons in the game,
Yeah,
you'd sort your position.
I'll put it B tier
But that's not the Vlad's fault.
for sure. Soyuz has better firing angles than the Vlad. That's correct. I also think the survivability of the Soyuz, Pommern's up there, but I think the Pommer would
I think
beat the shit out
Palmer's
of
better than
the
Alsace.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it would.
Wolf says C tier. Yeah, what the fuck? It muted me. Like 5 minutes ago. I have no idea. A worse tier 8 battleship?
Than Alsace.
Pommern's up there, but I don't think we talked about the Pommern.
I think Palmer's better than Alsace.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it would.
Wolf says C tier. The Zumo's worse? I don't think
Zumo.
Mate, this is like the most civilized conversation we've had on your streams. How the fuck could they fucking mute us?
Wolf
What
says
did we even
C tier.
say?
I have no idea.
But it's definitely not higher than this.
I don't know. Let me